The auction hall reeked of desperation and greed. Anna stood on the platform, her violet skin gleaming under the harsh lights, her four-fingered hands clenched at her sides. She was Valkyrie, a species known across the galaxy for their mathematical genius and their unfortunate lack of physical strength. Her people had been conquered, their home world stripped of resources, and now they were sold as commodities. 2 credits, a voice called from the back. The auctioneer, a blob-like Gorvan with translucent skin, let out a gurgling laugh. 2 credits for a Valkyrie female. Anyone else? Silence filled the hall. Anna's heart sank. 2 credits, the equivalent of $2 human. That was all she was worth. Her father's debt to the syndicate would be paid, but at what cost? She would belong to whoever had made that pathetic bid. Sold, the auctioneer announced with barely concealed disgust. Through the crowd emerged a humanist species Anna had only heard about in whispered rumors. They were new to the galactic scene, barely a century into space travel, and considered primitive by most standards. This one was tall, with dark hair and eyes that held an unsettling intensity. He wore simple clothing, nothing that indicated wealth or status. "Name's Jack," he said simply as the transaction completed on a date. "Let's go." Anna followed him out of the auction house, her mind racing. What did this human want with her? The stories about humans were contradictory. Some said they were savage warriors. Others claimed they were sentimental fools who cried over fictional stories. Jack's ship was small, a beat-up freighter that had seen better decades. Inside it was cluttered but clean, with strange objects Anna didn't recognize scattered about. He gestured to a chair. "Sit, we need to talk." Anna sat, her back rigid. "What do you want from me?" Jack leaned against a console, arms crossed. "Nothing." "Well, that's not entirely true. I want you to be free." She blinked, confusion washing over her. "You purchased me, yeah, for 2 credits because no one else would bid. Do you know why I was at that auction?" Jack's expression darkened. "I've been tracking the syndicate for months. They destroyed a human colony on Kepler 4 for 2B, killed my sister and her family. I can't take them down alone, but I can save people from them, one at a time." Anna's mind reeled. "So this is revenge?" "No, this is justice. Small, incremental justice." Jack pulled up a holographic display. "Here's the deal. That contract that binds you, according to galactic law. I can nullify it by declaring you a free citizen of Earth. Humans have been pushing for anti-slavery legislation in the Galactic Council for years. We finally got it passed last year. Earth would grant me citizenship." Anna's voice cracked with disbelief. "Already done. I filed the paperwork before I even bid on you." Jack swiped through screens, showing her official documents with her name on a designation VK7742. "Now Anna Valkyrie, citizen of Earth." Tears welled in Anna's eyes. In Valkyrie culture, crying was shameful, a sign of weakness, but she couldn't stop them. Why would you do this for a stranger?" Jack's expression softened. "Because my sister would have, because it's the right thing to do, and because humans have a saying, freedom isn't free. Someone paid for ours with blood and sacrifice. The least I can do is pay 2 credits for yours." Over the following weeks, Anna learned that Jack's mission was far more extensive than she'd imagined. He had freed 17 others before her, setting them up with jobs, identities, and new lives. He worked as a freight hauler, a dangerous job that took him to the darkest corners of the galaxy where the syndicate operated. "You could make more money with legal cargo," Anna observed one day as she helped him navigate through an asteroid field. "Legal cargo doesn't take me where the slaves are," Jack replied. Anna discovered she had a talent for navigation and systems hacking. Her Valkyrie mathematical mind could calculate jump coordinates faster than most ship computers. She also began to understand human culture, their illogical attachment to concepts like honor, their fierce protection of the weak, their bizarre tendency to adopt alien species as pets. "Your people are strange," she told Jack one evening as they shared a meal. "You've been in space for barely a century, yet you act like you owned the moral high ground." Jack grinned. "We don't own it. We just refuse to let it go. Humans have a long history of fighting for freedom wars and others. We've made terrible mistakes, committed horrible atrocities, but we've also learned, some of us anyway, we learned that freedom is contagious, that slavery diminishes everyone, not just the enslaved." 3 months after her liberation, Anna stood beside Jack at another auction. This time, she wasn't on the platform. She was in the crowd, datapad ready, bidding on a young Trillian male who looked terrified. 3 credits, she called out. The Gorvan auctioneer recognized them now, his expression souring. The human and his Valkyrie again. "For credits," another voice countered. Jack leaned close to Anna. "Go to 5. We've got the funds." 5 credits, Anna announced firmly. "Sold." The auctioneer spat out as they processed another freedom. Anna realized something profound. Jack hadn't just freed her from slavery. He'd freed her to become someone who could free others. The 2-credit purchase had been the best investment in the galaxy. "How many more?" she asked as they led the trembling Trilon to their ship. Jack smiled, that determined look in his eyes that she'd come to respect. "As many as we can, until the syndicate falls or we do." Anna nodded, her hand resting on the datapad that now held her Earth citizenship. her freedom, and her purpose. Then let's get to work. In the vastness of space, where empires rose and fell, where species conquered and were conquered, two individuals, a human who refused to accept injustice and a Valkyrie who refused to forget her Keens, waged a quiet war, not with weapons or armies, but with credits, paperwork, and an unshakable belief that every sentient being deserved freedom. The galaxy would remember many things about humanity's entry onto the cosmic stage, but perhaps the most important was this: when humans saw chains, they didn't ask about profit margins or political implications. They simply asked how much to break them.